happy occasion. And now I request Mr. Piyush Goyal, Member of Parliament, Rajya Sabha, for his address.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Governor Subbarao ji, my colleague in the Rajya Sabha, Rajkumar ji, Niranjan, Sailesh, Chandan, my very dear friend and successor as chairman of this banking committee, and other dignitaries on the dais. Very hearty congratulations to you, Chandan. You've really created an outstanding program this morning. It's heartening to see all titans of industry and all the bank bigwigs all gathered in one room. I think we should quickly have another convention hall, so Governor RBI may kindly allow one of the banks to finance somebody and make a big convention hall in Mumbai. This is too small now for us. Well, compliments to Governor. He's running a tough job, fighting with the government, as we hear sometimes in the news and in the newspapers, trying to balance growth and inflation. Well, I must say he speaks his mind sometimes, but it must be a tough job to stand up to government. But I do believe that now the time has come that the RBI takes a little more liberal policy stance, because clearly 3 or 4 years of a bad patch in terms of growth, killing of the infrastructure development, a lot of industry going through tough times. I think enough is enough. I, of course, have been advocating significant changes in government's own working of the system. But at the same time, I think RBI will also have to come forward with far more liberal policy. Otherwise, you're choking industry, and the kind of high interest rates that we are seeing in India certainly don't help even the common man whom you supposedly are trying to support through inflation control measurement or steps. The industry has come to a standstill. Small-scale industry is completely in dire straits, and we are certainly losing our export competitiveness, which is evident from the export figures. So I think it's really important that you take some proactive measures in terms of helping industry turn around quickly. Couple of interventions I'll make. Being in politics, actually, it's difficult to give the mic back in 5 minutes, which I'm told is the allotted time to each of us because you have to go, Governor. But I think I'd like to say a couple of things which I feel strongly about. One is, of course, the multiple regulators issue that Niranjan also raised. I remember when I joined the Rajya Sabha, my first intervention was on the ULIP dispute between IRDA and SEBI. And at that point of time, the Honorable Finance Minister had tried to present a picture that multiple regulators are not good for any industry or any business, and therefore we handed over the entire management of ULIPs to the IRDA. Now, when you have passed the Banking Regulation Amendment Act recently in December, at that point of time, you have brought an RBI overarching influence or ability to call for information and records, and possibly in that manner an indirect regulation on all the subsidiaries, holding companies, up and down both ways of the banking license applicants. Now, in fact, one very large industrial house, one of the largest in the country, its chairman told me we are probably not going to apply for the license. We don't want all our companies to come under the ambit of RBI and they can seek information about all our associate companies. I think you need to give a review to that thought, otherwise you may not get the really blue chip companies applying for a banking license. One other thing that I have been often agitated about, if I may use the word, has been the rupee float. Some of your colleagues in the RBI have often advocated, let the rupee go where it goes, we will not intervene too much. I think it's a very short-sighted and myopic view. The rupee stability is an integral part of sending a message to the world that India is stable, India is in good shape, you can invest here. With the rupee fluctuating as much as, I think, between 54 and 57 rupees in the last 1 week. And I was not here for a month, so I really don't know how it has behaved over the whole period. But I was shocked when I read today something like 56 point something. And I think these short-term interventions would be good for the economy. When we talk to investors, and I've been meeting some very, very senior people doing a program at Harvard where 30 countries were represented. They don't like to see the rupee in such a tumultuous phase most of the times. I think that's a job of the RBI to look after the interests of the country and keep the rupee more stable. One issue that has also been in my mind for a long time is regarding, I see a lot of PSU bank chairmen here, sir. I think the differentiation between a PSU bank and the private banks should be done away with completely. Please make it a level playing field for everybody. You did hold back on the priority sector lending norms, which I read yesterday. Some of the applicants were asking for a liberal approach, but you have resisted that. I'm glad. But then you can't have, for example, the Central Bureau of Investigation opening up 10-year-old decisions of a banker probably on the verge of his retirement and sitting on judgment on a decision taken maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago based on circumstances at that time. Whereas the private banks can get away with murder. So I think you as the let's say, repository of the bank's operations working should take it up with the government. And I've said this on the floor of the House many times, that this kind of differentiation, you want to bring all bankers under that purview, do it. But you can't say the PSU bankers are sitting with the sword on their neck and the private bankers can give any amount of loans, write-offs, concessions, rebates, whatever they like. I think that's an issue which, if RBI takes up with the government, can be sorted out. Also, the private banks and foreign banks circumvent every norm in the book, whether it's related to real estate lending that Niranjan was talking of, or many other things. Even the priority sector lending. They take an indirect guarantee from the sugar mills and give to the sugar cane growers with a guaranteed, indirect guarantee, because you do control that. I think it's important that this level playing field between all banks be brought in at the earliest. One issue that I think a lot of the people here, unfortunately in our country, sir, most people believe that they have to suck up to the leaders and to the people in power. I'm very blunt about it because very few people are willing to call a spade a spade. So in front of politicians or senior people like you, you'll all hear the good things. Sad part is, sir, the NPAs today are largely not due to inefficiency of the industry. It's due to inefficiency of government. You have bankers who sit on files for months on end, delaying money disbursement, causing agony to industry. You have environment issues. Environment issues are killing a lot of infrastructure projects. This so-called policy flip-flop, the policy paralysis that we hear of all the time, is causing a lot of projects to get delayed, and that is being borne by the entrepreneur. I think it's important, and then the banks get into trouble, and then banks put pressure. I think it kills the excitement to invest in India. I think it'll be good if RBI takes a view about the force majeure in a little bit of a wider perspective, where industry or business which is unable to do a certain thing on time for reasons beyond their control are looked at differently from a willful defaulter. And lastly, I just want to flag off the two impending bills, the Food Security Act and the Land Acquisition Bill. See, politically, we are all going to support it. Nobody in their right mind, in their right senses, is going to oppose anything like this, which is supposed to benefit the poor man. I think the important thing is, despite being a very politically sensitive subject, I don't know how many of you have assessed its impact on the economy of India. It's very important that people like you who are sitting in positions which can influence the government, and all of you industry leaders, take up the impact of this, study the impact. Maybe McKinsey can come out with another report to really see whether we have the production to be able to provide for the food for so many people, or we are going to be required to import at very high values, impact of that on import bill, on the rupee, and then the whole chain. Similarly, the Land Acquisition Act has retrospective amendments. So you're going to open up a lot of land acquisition already in pipeline. And once you open up even 1 acre in a 1,000-acre acquisition, believe me, the 999 are also going to be up in arms. You're going to again have projects getting stalled, and a lot of impact. Indirectly, it all goes back to the banks when projects get stalled or get affected. I think overall it's important that RBI and industry leaders start speaking their mind, tell us where we are wrong, tell us what we could do better. And in that respect, it's not only the duty of you, sir, or me in my work, but all of us sitting in this room to stop just praising people in power, even if I am there tomorrow, but start speaking their mind and demanding a good administration and good regulation. Thank you very much. I hope you don't mind any of my comments.
Thank you, Mr. Goel, for sharing your